So I'll just dive right in. I loved all the callbacks and Easter eggs to the original film. So I was wondering how familiar with Orphan were you before signing on?
Extremely familiar. I mean, I was this, you know, as much a fan as almost anybody, not everybody, because I've seen some really passionate fans in this process, who live and die by her. And I do now, but then it was just, for me, a film I really respected and I thought was, in the horror space, one of the high benchmark films, especially in that era, right? Those 10 years. And what was kind of funny was about 6 months before I got the script and knew anything about this project, I happened to just watch it again and started making notes. And so it's like I'm a student of the original film. And
Yeah.
then being approached with the script was like, oh, this is surreal. This is crazy. This is amazing. So
Yeah. I mean, were you, and that movie is known for like its huge twist of revealing, Esther's whole thing.
yeah,
Were you worried at all about having to top that movie's twist? I think this movie does a pretty good job of that.
yeah. I was definitely, I wouldn't say I was worried. I was skeptical, and I already had told the producers more or less that I wasn't interested, but I'm excited to read the script as a fan. But just because it's too much to live up to, both with the twist and like how are you going to how are we going to bring the character to life again with a new actor? It just seems like it was so iconic. I wouldn't want to mess with that. And we did mess with it in our own way, right? But we brought her back. But and then when I read the script, immediately I was like, I'm in. Like, this was great. Now let's focus on Isabelle, really. Like, how do we bring her back into this?
Definitely. And, in bringing back Isabel, I think, not de-aging her, it had this like uncanny valley sort of look. So I was wondering, can you talk about like that process a bit, working with her and the body doubles and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of trial and error, but a lot of the testing happened before, the year leading up to it. And it was, it was more about photography techniques, So with other characters, we would use a certain lighting setup. With her, we would use a different lighting setup. We would always use a different camera angle with her, meaning like we'd always be slightly above her eye line looking down, whereas other characters, you might be slightly lower looking up. And it just gives her a more youthful, childlike appearance, I guess. And then in every way, in post-production, it's like we would do kind of cleanup with the color grade. And it was really more about making an actress look really beautiful. It's just, in this case, you're taking a 24-year-old and making her look like a child, but it's the same techniques. And then with her size, yeah, it became about a lot of forced perspective, which is, became very well known in Lord of the Rings. And so every shot, no matter how simple, was not simple. Everything was complex. Everything was a magic trick. And for the actors themselves, it's like they couldn't act the normal way. It's like if they're walking and talking with her, well, she's probably 3 steps behind them, and to make her look small, forced perspective.
Yeah.
Or they're up on a platform, or they're wearing Gene Simmons boots. It's all these great tricks. And
Yeah.
that, having such a great cast, nobody, everybody bought into it. And then, yeah, we had 3 body doubles, and Isabelle was always off camera, though, anytime we had a body double, and was doing the dialogue with the actors as if she was on camera. So there was a lot that went into it. And then there were a lot of like crazy ideas, like a mask to be used for the body doubles that, we have footage of it that's absolutely hilarious. It did not work, but and I'll share
Did it
that
look
stuff.
like Isabel?
Oh, it was a full 3D scan flesh mask of Isabelle.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. I mean, but when you put it on a kid a day before shooting the movie, it was like, it was the eyes, like
Yeah.
cut out of the eyes. That was, and the
Yeah.
proportions. But when you see the pictures, you'll see that it was like, oh, that's creepy, but not good creepy for the movie. And then there was a whole machine we built that kept her low to be able to walk that we ended up not using. But she had to learn like how to walk by being pushed on this like wheelchair contraption, and it was
Interesting.
too complex. It just
Yeah.
didn't need to be that complex. It's like these ideas are actually tried and true. They've been used for since the beginning of cinema, and we just leaned more into that aspect, and it worked.
Yeah, it
It worked.
definitely did. I
Yeah.
love the film so much. So thank you for your time today. It was great speaking with you.